Second, all in favor?
Yeah.
So moved. We do have minutes to approve for the April 18th meeting, our last open meeting. Myself, Mr. DeTerra, Mr. Whitehead, and Mr. Leonard were here, so if you guys have all looked this over and are ready to move forward.
Yeah.
Make a motion as printed.
Yeah, I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Minutes are approved. The next order of business this evening is our appointments. The first appointment this evening is basically it's an extension. Dunkin' Donuts was asking us for an extension of their special permit that we granted about 8 months ago because they thought the contractor wasn't going to show up in time. There's nobody here to represent, right? No, just making sure. I did talk to them yesterday after coming to Town Hall to check in on it, to make sure we had the right to grant it or not grant it. Went over it with the town administrator, went over it with the town clerk. Their special permit by state law is actually good for 2 years. So there was no need for us to do anything. I called them up and told them they didn't need to do it. So that moves us right past that case, nothing to do. Into case 20230926A, case of Ryan Boyle of 14 Olivera Avenue, who's petitioning the board for a variance to construct a 360 square foot addition. The proposed floor area ratio is 20%, 20.25% over the allowed percentage, so that's 5.25% over the maximum allowable percentage. This request is being made under the provisions of section 331E5. Mr. Davinian, looks like you're here to represent.
Yes, sir, I am. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. My name is Dave Vickman. I am here representing Ryan Boyer, actually his uncle. So the project site is 14 Olivera Ave. Ryan and his wife purchased the property January 29, 2021. Then they've been periodically doing updates to the house ever since they bought it. They have one child, and the house is fairly small for 3 people. So they're looking to do an addition off to the right side of the house, which would consist of a 15-foot by 24-foot addition, or a lateral extension of the existing house. In doing so, they would be ripping up the existing floor layout, which comprises a small master bedroom and a living room, and blowing out those walls to create one large room that would consist of being the new living room and dining room. We submitted floor plans for you that were prepared by Madison Lopes. They're going to then move the master bedroom over to the other side of the house, and that's a rather small room, but it does have its own bathroom. So in that aspect, there's an existing deck in the rear of the house. That deck would be blown out for a walk-in closet within the same footprint. So when you add up all of the areas of the building, the shed, and that walk-in closet and the addition, it brings our floor area ratio to 20.25, or 5.25% over the 15% max. We're looking at an 8,000 square foot lot. Almost really impossible to stay at 15%. I don't think the bylaw really takes into account that there are a lot of small lots like this throughout town. So it's a modest increase in my opinion. And so they meet all the setbacks. The side setback is met, the rear setback's met. The front setback is governed by the face of the building to the street. And I did speak with Andy Babola about that. He said as long as you're at or behind that, you're all set with that. I have no problems with that. So we're here solely for a variance to increase the floor area ratio from 15% up to 20.25. In your packets, you have photographs of the front and rear of the house. You have architectural drawings of what the addition would look like, or additions, I should say, the rear as well. And you have a certified site plan stamped by a registered land surveyor for the setbacks. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Have no questions, it's straightforward. Does anybody else have any questions? I'm gonna ask if there's any abutters who'd like to speak for or against it. Okay, no abutters have any objections to this? All right, guys, I agree with Mr. Davinian, he always does a great job in the presentation, but you're talking about 20% on an 8,000 square foot lot. The coverage isn't a lot. I don't see any issue with it. I'll accept any motion you guys are ready to.
I'll make a motion to approve it as is.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you, guys.
That concludes our appointments. I do see some faces out in the audience. Is anybody else here for anything that needs to be discussed? Old businesses are next up on the agenda if anybody has anything. So that brings us to new business, and it's not listed there, but I'd like to welcome to his first meeting, Mr. White. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your service. That being said, we have quite a few new faces since I was appointed chair as the board amongst the absence of Mr. Hippolito. And I think it would only be fair to call for a restructure. I'm not saying I quit you guys, I just want to make sure that you know the way the board's running. If there's anybody who would like to take over the chairmanship, please speak up and let you guys know.
Oh, I'm gonna make that motion to Bob, you stays the chairman.
I second it.
No, but in all honesty, I mean,
Yeah, no,
that's,
absolutely.
every year the board should have an opportunity to discuss and restructure. We haven't done that in a while because we have had new members and, or whatever, but, you know, I trust in your confidence, and I'm willing to do the job, but I think it should be put out there every year after the elections, and just want to make sure that you're comfortable the way it is, and again, welcome, Jeff. Hope you can make all our meetings, because we've been shop members here a lot, and it does affect the people coming before the board. If we don't have a 5-member board, it really can dictate how things are run here, and we need to have the board here as a full board so that they can best be served. So I appreciate you stepping up. Appreciate the rest of you guys being here this evening. And I did hear a motion in a second to keep me as the chairman.
Yes.
All in favor?
Is that where we're going?
Yeah.
Make a motion to adjourn.
And we have a motion to adjourn.
Any future business? Any, none?
We have a future,
No,
because I will
I
set
know
a date. I'm sorry, thank you. Appreciate that.
None that I know of.
Nothing on the docket right now, so without anything coming up, Carol will let us know, and I accept the motion a second to adjourn. All in favor?